Right, so let's have one last look at the tender foliage before it gets burnt off by the frosts. So we are due this week in the UK for a cold Arctic blast. So it's going to come down mid to end of the week. A lot of frosts possible in a lot of areas in the UK. I'm lucky where I am. I'm on the coast, Suffolk coast, so we do tend to miss the worst of it, but I've already sort of spoke about that a little bit. So we will probably get frosts here, so this is a last look at, we've got some small tetrapanics there which no doubt will get frosted off, along with the big one, and the flowers which are not quite ready there, they'll get frosted off along with the banana leaves, no doubt. And a lot of the cannas and collocaceas which are still sort of struggling to grow. We have still got a couple of the dwarf Cavendish Musa which will die, no doubt about that. I've brought in what I want to bring in on that. So we've got the palm protected there. This is a plant I'm going to be protecting. So what I'm going to do with this is get some bamboo canes, stick round it, probably 4, and wrap the good leaves in fleece, and then put a plastic bag over it with a couple of air holes just to let the air circulate. So hopefully that will be just be enough. This is a golden lotus banana, so the old leaves I will cut off because they're obviously gone, but we've got a couple of nice leaves there, so if we can keep a couple of nice leaves on it. I mean, I've never tried, but apparently it helps if you leave a couple of leaves on there to get it going a bit quicker in the spring. So that's the plan with that one. And I have got to go around with the collocaceas, which have obviously practically stopped growing now, so I've got some cloches to put over them. But yeah, just a few little last minute things before the frosts do hit, and we say goodbye to the tender green foliage of a lot of these plants. I was hoping this ricinus was gonna flower, but well, it's flowered, but it's not set seed. I've got loads of seeds off the plain green ones, but this is the red variety which I didn't actually plant. That's self-seeded from a couple of years ago and just came up this year. So I was hoping to get a few seeds off that, but that ain't going to happen now either. Anyway, so yeah, just a little quick look at what's going on. Over this side I didn't really worry about protecting anything other than the boot here, which is just under the frame there, just to stop the worst of the wet and frost hitting it. And this side is more sort of hardy stuff. Some small palms and fatsies and things like that, which are not going to suffer too much with a light frost. I did cover up my Schefflera, which I done a video on Sunday, I think, about that. So that's basically what it looks like. We've got an old cheap greenhouse shelving, which is the frame. Then I just put a bag over it and tie wrapped a couple of stakes and hammered them in. So that's just going to stop again the wind and the frosts hitting them leaves. I have left a good couple of inches gap at the bottom for air exchange, so the wind will sort of blow up in there to an extent and just circulate the air a bit. But apart from that, that should just keep the worst of the frosts off. It is worth mentioning that I've got a collocacia here and I put a cloche over it already, this one, because that's already died back. But if you're going to put a cloche on, obviously you get your little pegs and peg them in at the ground so they're not going to blow away. But also I do tuck it in a bit with the mulch, give it a good surface covering of mulch around the edges so the wind doesn't sort of get underneath that so much, because we have got air vents at the top of these, so you get the air exchange. It's not going to heat up too much when the sun hits it. It's hopefully not going to get frosted in there. So that's just another little thing you might want to do if you have got cloches, just to either tuck it into the soil level or mulch or whatever you've got there, and that definitely does help to insulate that cold draft from getting in from the bottom. Right, again, nothing specific this video, just a last look maybe before things do really get nasty. And we have got last of the collocaceae in the bog filter. That's the pink china, which obviously is looking worse for wear as well, so that is gonna I think I'm going to leave that one in situ and see what happens, because believe it or not, a lot of these things that you think you want to keep dry, if they're used to an aquatic environment, that might just pull through. So that's going to be a little experiment. I have left canners in the bog filter before over winter, so again the roots are submerged in water, and all winter with frosts and the cold water, but because the water's moving, you still get an oxygen to the roots, and yeah, the canners popped up again next year, no problem. So a little experiment with the pink china, I'm going to leave that in there, see what happens with that. If it dies and that rots off, and I'm not too fussed. That's just an experiment. I like to try things. I've got loads of pink china, I'm not too fussed about them. Not my favourite collocaceae anyway. Right, let's leave it there. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.